When is Diablo Immortal going to release? Today, that's the question that I'm going to try my best to answer for you. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving into some Diablo Immortal, looking at some Crusader gameplay as we are having fun in the frozen tundra, doing some bounty board events. And what I've noticed is no matter what video I put out, no matter what the topic or how it relates to Diablo Immortal, I get the same question all the time in every single video. So today I'm going to address that question directly, and that is, when will I be able to play Diablo Immortal? Now, although there's no sure answer to this, there is no set release date, I'm going to bring you guys the facts that we have, and from those facts, I'm going to be giving you my prediction, which I think is pretty much on point. I mean, it's not going to be as on point as a day, but I am going to take you through the next phases of testing and then when I think the game will actually launch. So first of all, let's get out of the way that Blizzard had their investor call, and they did still maintain the status that Diablo Immortal will be live for everyone this year, which means the latest that you'll be able to get your hands on Diablo Immortal globally will be December of this year. But I get the feeling that we're going to be looking at it a little bit sooner than that. So let's sit back and see what we got from the technical alpha. Because inside of the technical alpha, we had zones. Basically, we had up to level 45, zones up to that level, and there were 3 more zones to be had, 2 more classes to be had, and a PvP system to be built out. We had that in December. 4 months later, we got ourselves what we're looking at right now, which is the closed alpha. Many content creators are in it. We have Australia in it, and they're opening it up to the community. They've been doing giveaways on their Reddit, on their Discord, on their Instagram, their Twitter, so that you guys, regular gamers, people that just love Diablo, are going to be able to get in and have been able to get in to try out the game. So first of all, if you're not already following them on those platforms, I highly suggest you do if you want to get your hands on the game early. Now, with that in mind, any progress that I make, that you make, that anyone makes right now in the closed alpha or from the technical alpha will be wiped and already was wiped. So you won't be able to take that into the global release of the game. So you can still enjoy yourself, become familiar with the game, but any progress made is going to be gone. That's cool. It's alpha. That's to be expected. And remember, them giving out alpha access to people right now, it's not because they're saying, oh, here, we want to be nice, we're gonna give you this as a gift. No, this is because they're testing the servers, and our job as alpha testers is not to just sit back and enjoy the game, although we definitely are sitting back and enjoying it. It's to give feedback, so when the game does go global, it's ready to go, and it's in as polished of shape as possible. That is what we should be doing as alpha testers. So now that I've set you guys up on where we are, what our job is, and how you can potentially get inside of the game, let's talk about what's next to come and how I feel the game is going to actually be launched. We know right now that we have 5 more levels to come to our character class that is going to be available at launch. So 5 more levels to be built. We have 1 more zone to be built as well. And of course, the PvP system is going to be enhanced and kind of fixed up and just made more complete for when the game does finally launch. So really, I mean, we have the Shadows and Immortals, and we have all of that system. We have the Heliquary. We have everything is in place. It's just at this point in time, building and finishing the Necromancer, completing the final zone, and polishing everything that's already there while stress testing the servers, making sure it all works out well for everyone that's able to play, and also figure out what devices are going to be capable and which ones are not, which I'll also touch on in just a moment. So my prediction is that after this closed alpha goes away, I think we're going to get another test that is going to be closed, although I think it's going to be opened up to more than we already have it opened up to right now, but it's still not going to be global. I feel that in that closed beta, we're going to be getting the Necromancer and the final zone, and that's going to be a true test of the servers. In my opinion, if all goes well during this closed beta, they do not have to wait very long to make the tweaks that they need to make to eventually open up globally. Now, what's the next step going to be though? Will it be a open beta, which means everyone can play globally, but it's still in beta, or is it going to be a full-out open global launch? Now let's assume that this closed alpha takes us through June. We're gonna have the game until June, maybe let's say mid-June. I think that it's gonna be closed off again, shut down again for about a month's time, let's say 4 to 6 weeks. Then at the end of July, beginning of August, we should be seeing either a closed beta or possibly even at that point in time an open beta. I guess it depends on how comfortable they feel about that build. So let's say July, August, we're going to be having the next round, which is most likely going to be a closed version just to make sure that the class works properly, talking about that Necromancer class, and that the new zone plays well. Then following that, we're going to probably go down for about a month's time. They can refresh everything, and my thought here is that in October, the end of October, we're probably going to be seeing an open version of the game. Whether that be an open beta or a global launch, I think depends on that final testing round, whether they have a ton of work to do to fix things up or just a little bit more. Now, if you look at the current zones, we're in Ashwald Cemetery right now. In this zone, when you interact with people, there's voiceovers, there's voice acting, all of that's in place. When you go to the newer zones that just came out in this closed alpha build, you'll notice that the voice acting isn't there, those aren't in place. The Heraldric Altar doesn't have all the text in there. Those are small things, they're not bugs, they're just things that haven't been completed yet. Does it take a ton of time to complete all of that? I don't think so. It's story being added and text being input. It's voice being dropped in as, you know, those audio files over the text that drops in as well. Obviously, you need to get the voice acting and all that to happen, but that is small stuff. The actual build of the game up to this point is extremely solid with very few bugs. Now, I mentioned to you guys that I was going to talk about devices, and everyone's always saying, as well as the when will I be able to play Diablo Immortal, they say, will it work on my phone? And here's the thing. Diablo Immortal is huge. The game is massive. It's a big file and it's got a ton to do. This is not just your typical small little garbage mobile game. Although I personally love mobile games, this is very different. This is more of an experience like you would expect on a PC game. It actually is an experience that you would expect on a PC game. It's just done on mobile. So I think that you're going to have a decent phone. With that being said, right here, I have my iPad. This iPad is 4 years old. It's an iPad 5th generation. I've been playing games and recording on this for about 4 years. And Diablo Immortal, the gameplay you're watching right now, it plays very well on there. Does it sometimes slow down a little bit? Yeah, sometimes it will. Does it sometimes shut down? Yeah, it actually cuts off every hour or so, and then I have to reboot the game. This is because, first of all, we're in alpha, and second of all, you know, the device may be getting a little bit old. A 4-year-old device is actually an eternity in the realm of technology. Think about computers. You get a computer 6 months later, it's already outdated. So yes, I do think you're gonna wanna have better devices. So with that being said, I have my iPhone 11. This phone is about a year old and I have never experienced a crash on it and it hasn't ever had any issues, and I can run the high FPS mode on this phone. So specific phone models, I mean, especially Android, because there's so many, I don't know. My suggestion would be, if you are a diehard and really want to play Diablo Immortal, make sure that you are not using a phone, that you're not rocking a phone that's as old as my iPad, 4 years old. I think that there you could get into that. Will it work? Will it work well? May it not work? I don't know. And that's stuff that you're going to have to keep in mind. Now, the iPad, by the way, I'm running it at max settings on a 4-year-old iPad. It looks good, and as you can see, it plays really well also. But I will be upgrading my iPad as soon as Diablo, probably before the next testing round of Diablo Immortal comes out. Actually, I'll be upgrading my iPad so that I can get the fullest experience out of it. It's time for me to do an upgrade anyway. But if you're someone that's on a very old phone, possibly because you just don't upgrade your phone because you don't care, or possibly because you can't afford it, it may make you not be able to play the game. So, like any other thing, if you have a computer and it doesn't meet the specs of a game, sorry, you can't play the game because your computer doesn't meet the specs. Same difference here, right? If your phone doesn't meet the specs of the game, you're not going to be able to play the game, unless if maybe there's a way to really downgrade the settings inside of the game, which there is. But There's got to be a standard, and that standard has to end somewhere. Obviously, the more people that are able to play, because the game will be available on lower end devices, the better for Blizzard. But at the same time, they're trying to bring us a quality experience that's up to a certain bar. And if they can't reach that bar because they're not able to reach those lower end phones, I think to them it's more important to bring out a game that is incredible and like a PC experience, and have less people because their phones won't be able to handle it, instead of having people with really low end phones be able to play and have the gameplay and the experience of the game suffer. It's a difficult decision to make, but at the end of the day, Blizzard's going to want to put out the best game they possibly can. Now to summarize, I think we're going to see some global version of the game, whether that be a global beta or a global release towards the end of October, maybe the beginning of November. I know some other creators are actually predicting sooner than that. I don't know. Neither do they. They're all just predictions. What we do know is that Diablo Immortal will be on your hands this year, and we're only talking about 8 more months left in this year, so that would be the latest. But I'm hoping that you guys are following them all on those socials, so that hopefully you can get your hands in the game even early, even in this closed alpha round, just to kind of see what it's all about, test it out, and just feel like you got yourself into Diablo Immortal, because the game is amazing. Now for me, I can't wait. Well, first of all, I can't wait to play it today because I'm playing it all the time. But I also can't wait to get to test out that Necro and the final zone. I hear the final zone may be some version of hell. I guess we're going to have to see. Hope this answered some of your questions here today. Again, they are predictions. I do not know. No one knows. Blizzard has not told any of us content creators when the game is going to come out. We are not holding out on you. I'm giving you all the information that I have, and I'm kind of trying to figure it out for myself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, you can come through my Discord server, which is the pinned comment down below, as well as in the description, where we talk about Diablo Immortal every day, put some plans together, and get ready to make a really nice clan together when the game launches. Have a great day, guys. Make sure you sub the channel, and be good.